You think stretching is optional, something athletes do, something you do when your back already hurts. But after 8 hours of stillness, your body wakes up stiff, compressed, and moving more cautiously than it did the day before. And two things happen before you even leave the bed. First, you wake up slightly taller than you are at night, not because you grew, but because the discs in your spine rehydrated while you slept. Second, the stiffness you feel is not just in your muscles. Research has found that flexibility can be connected to something much deeper: how well your blood vessels stay flexible too. We're breaking down the 10 things that change in your body when you start stretching every morning. Not a workout, not a yoga class, a restart signal after 8 hours of stillness. But you cannot just yank at your toes and expect a miracle. Stay to the end for the ART formula, the 3 rules that decide whether stretching becomes a real daily reset or another habit you quit. Here are the 10 changes that begin when you stop waking up folded. Benefit 10. The body map turns back on. That heavy, foggy feeling in the first hour after waking? Part of it is simple. Your body has spent 8 hours barely moving. Your muscles are cooler. Your joints have not traveled through their normal range. And your brain has received almost no fresh information about where your body is in space. Stretching changes that. When you slowly reach, rotate, bend, and extend, sensors in your muscles and joints start sending updated information to your brain. This is called proprioception, your internal map of where your body is and how it is moving. Think of it like turning on the lights in a building that has been dark all night. You are not creating energy from nowhere. You are reminding the brain that the body is online. That is why a few minutes of movement can make you feel more awake before the coffee even hits. But waking up the map is only the first layer. The next change happens in the part of your body that has been carrying your whole night. Benefit 9. The spine gets its first chance to move. While you sleep, the discs between the bones of your spine take pressure off. They draw in fluid. They become slightly fuller. That is one reason most people measure a little taller in the morning than at night. But the moment you sit, slump, and load the spine, that decompression window begins to close. Now, stretching does not freeze you at your morning height. Nothing does. But gentle movement in the morning can help your spine move through its natural range before you spend hours sitting, driving, or staring down at a screen. Your discs are like fluid cushions between the bones of your back. A whole night gives those cushions a chance to refill. Morning movement is not about protecting every millimeter. It is about using that reset window before the day starts compressing you again. And if your back is always the first thing that complains, the next change may explain why. Benefit 8. Your hips stop running the whole show. Tight hips, a cranky lower back, that sharp pull when you stand after sitting too long. Most people blame their back. But often, the problem started lower. When you sit for hours, your hips stay folded. The hip flexors, glutes, hamstrings, and lower back muscles spend the day working around the same limited position. Your body adapts to what you repeat. Sit folded long enough, and folded starts to feel normal. Morning stretching gives those areas a different instruction. You extend the hip. You move the pelvis. You remind the hamstrings and glutes that they are allowed to lengthen and contract through more than one small range. Think of a lawn chair left folded overnight. It still works. But the first time you open it, every hinge resists. Stretching does not magically fix every back problem, but it can stop your hips from sending the same restricted movement pattern into every step, squat, reach, and bend that follows. And once your hips begin opening, a surprising thing can change above them: your breathing. Benefit 7. Breathing feels less guarded. Look at how most adults sit. Head forward, shoulders rounded, chest slightly collapsed. After enough hours of that position, taking a full breath can start to feel unfamiliar. Not impossible, just restricted. Your ribs do not get the same room to expand. Your chest muscles stay shortened. Your diaphragm has to work against a body that is quietly bracing. A morning chest opener, side bend, or upper back stretch does not give you more oxygen than your body needs. What it can do is make full, easy breathing feel more available. The ribs move, the chest opens, the diaphragm has more room to descend. Think of opening windows in a stuffy room. The air was always there, but now the room has space to use it. And that matters because breathing is not only about the lungs, it is also one of the fastest ways the body decides whether to stay braced or begin to settle. Benefit 6. Your body stops bracing so hard. Some mornings, you wake up tense before anything has even happened. Your jaw is tight, your shoulders are up, your stomach feels slightly clenched. That does not mean there is something wrong with you. It may mean your body is still carrying the protective posture of the day before. Slow, controlled stretching gives the nervous system a different kind of input. Not an alarm, not a demand. A signal that says, move carefully, breathe fully, nothing is chasing you right now. This is where stretching stops being about flexibility and starts becoming about tone. Your body has muscles that can stay switched on long after the original reason for tension is gone. Gentle movement can help reduce that sense of guarding, not by forcing relaxation, but by giving your brain proof that the body can move safely. You wake up with the engine revving in neutral. Stretching does not turn the engine off. It takes your foot off the gas. But feeling calmer is not the only long-term advantage of moving this way, because how well you sense your body affects how safely you move through the rest of your life. Benefit 5. Your balance gets more reliable. Feeling older rarely arrives all at once. It starts quietly. You avoid twisting too far. You reach for the handrail. You stop trusting your footing on uneven ground. A stiff body does not announce itself. It simply shrinks the movements you feel confident making. Morning stretching helps maintain range of motion, especially through the ankles, hips, spine, and shoulders. Those are the areas your body depends on when you step off a curb, catch yourself during a stumble, turn quickly, or reach overhead. Balance is not just standing on one leg. It is your brain knowing where your joints are, your muscles responding fast enough, and your body having enough range to correct itself. Your body is a door. On moving hinges, it opens easily. Left unused, the hinges stiffen, and eventually, you stop opening the door at all. But this next change is where stretching gets more surprising, because flexibility may not just be a movement issue. It can reflect what is happening inside your blood vessels too. Benefit 4. The artery surprise. This one goes deeper than most people expect. Researchers have found an association between flexibility and arterial stiffness. In other words, how well the body moves on the outside can sometimes track with how flexible blood vessels remain on the inside. And in studies of regular stretching programs, especially in middle-aged and older adults, participants have shown improvements in blood vessel function and reductions in arterial stiffness over time. Not after one toe touch, not after one morning, over weeks of repeated practice. Your arteries are like garden hoses. A hose that stays flexible moves water differently from one that has become rigid and brittle. Stretching is not a replacement for walking, strength training, sleep, or medical care. But it may be one quiet way of supporting the systems that keep the body moving well, inside and out. And if that sounds like a long-term payoff, it is. But the next change is one you can notice much sooner. Benefit 3. Your brain learns a new stretch limit. Here's the part most people get wrong. They think flexibility improves because the muscles suddenly become longer. That is not what happens first. In the beginning, the biggest change is often in your nervous system. Your brain has protective limits around range of motion. When a stretch feels unfamiliar or threatening, the body tightens up, not because the muscle is incapable of moving farther, but because the brain decides that farther feels unsafe. With slow, repeated stretching, you teach the system something new. This range is safe. This position is controlled. You do not need to hit the brakes. Think of it like a volume dial on an alarm. At first, the alarm goes off early, but with consistent, gentle practice, the brain can turn the sensitivity down. That is why forcing a stretch is usually the wrong move. Pain does not prove progress. Control does. And once your brain stops treating normal movement like a threat, something changes that follows you long after the stretching session ends. Benefit 2. You move differently for the rest of the day. A stiff body changes its behavior in small ways. You shuffle instead of stride. You avoid bending all the way down. You turn your whole body instead of rotating your torso. You reach less, twist less, trust yourself less. Most people do not notice this happening because it arrives gradually, but morning stretching can interrupt that pattern before it takes over the day. When you move through a fuller range early in the morning, you remind your body what is available. Your hips have room. Your shoulders can rotate. Your spine can turn. Your ankles can bend. You are not unlocking one door for 10 minutes. You are changing which doors stay open all day. And that brings us to the benefit people tend to feel most clearly. Not because it is dramatic, because it changes how the whole day begins. Benefit 1. You start the day unstuck. You know the feeling. You wake up heavy, slow, mentally cluttered before the day has even started. Most people assume that is just their personality in the morning. But body and mind are not separate systems. When your body feels folded, braced, and stiff, the day starts with friction. Everything feels like it requires more effort. Morning stretching does not solve every bad mood. It does something more practical. It gives your body evidence that the night is over. You have moved. You have breathed. You have opened the positions that sleep and sitting slowly close. The result is not perfection. It is momentum. You walk into the day feeling less wound tight and more available to it. And that is the difference between stretching once because your back hurts and stretching every morning because you want your body to keep working with you. But there is one reason most people stretch for a week, feel nothing dramatic, and quit. They treat it like a random event. Your body does not adapt to occasional. It adapts to signals it receives often enough to trust. So do not just stretch. Use the ART formula. The ART formula. Approach. Start slowly. No bouncing. No forcing. No chasing pain because you think pain proves it is working. Move into a position you can control. Then breathe there. Rhythm. Consistency beats intensity. 5 minutes every morning is more powerful than one aggressive session on a Sunday. You are not chasing one good stretch. You are teaching your nervous system a new default. Timing. Morning works because it gives the body a transition out of 8 hours of stillness. But your tissues are cooler when you first wake up. Start with smaller ranges. Walk around. Let the body warm up. Then open the positions that feel restricted. You were never broken, and you do not need an extreme workout to stop feeling stiff, folded, and older than you are. You just need to stop letting 8 hours of stillness decide how the next 16 feel. Every morning, you get the same choice. Stay folded, or wake up.